This video is about figurative speech. Before we start today's lesson, I want you to relax for a moment and just listen to me carefully, not as a student, but as someone who enjoys the language. Have you ever noticed that in daily life, when we talk to our friends, our family, or even to ourselves, we rarely speak in very plain, boring sentences. We don't usually say things like, I'm very tired or I'm very happy and stop there. Instead, without even thinking about it, we say things like, I'm completely exhausted. I feel like I could fall asleep standing. Or I'm so happy my heart feels light. Now, pause for a moment and think about this. When we speak like that, are we speaking in a literal way or are we adding imaginations to our words? We are clearly adding imagination, feeling, and expression. And that is exactly where today's topic begins. Today, we are going to talk about something that makes language colorful, emotional, expressive, and alive. So, the topic is called figurative speech. And I want you to understand this very clearly. This is not a difficult topic. It's not a boring topic. It is definitely not something you memorize. This is something you already use in your life without realizing it. So, my job today is simply to make you aware of it and help you use it confidently. Let us now slowly and clearly understand what figurative speech actually means. It refers to the use of words in a way that is different from their ordinary dictionary meaning. So, when we use figurative speech, we are not trying to be exact or factual. Instead, we are trying to express ideas, emotions, and situations in a more imaginative and meaningful way. In simple words, figurative speech is used when we want our listener or reader to feel something, not just understand something. So when I say weather is hot, you understand the meaning, right? But you don't really feel anything. However, when I say the sun was burning the road and the heat wrapped around me like a blanket, suddenly you can imagine the situation. You can almost feel the heat, isn't it? So that is figurative speech at work. So, figurative speech is not about lying or giving wrong information. It is about expressing the truth in a more creative and powerful way. It allows language to go beyond facts and enter the world of imaginations, emotions, and images. So, to understand this better, let us compare literal language and figurative language in a very relaxed way. So, literal language is very straightforward. It means exactly what it says. There is no imagination involved. For example, if I say, the child is afraid, the sentence is literal. It tells us the fact, right? Now, let me turn this into a figurative language. Instead of saying the child is afraid, I say the child's heart started racing and his hands trembled as fear crept in. Can you notice the difference? The second sentence, what I said, does not directly say afraid, but still you can clearly understand that the child is scared, right? In fact, you understand it more strongly. That is why figurative speech is so powerful. It shows instead of telling, it creates a picture instead of giving information. Now, many students ask, why do we need figurative speech? Why can't we just say things simply? That's a very genuine question. And the answer is very simple. Firstly, figurative speech makes communication interesting. Imagine listening to a story where everything is told in a flat, plain way. Very soon you would lose interest, right? Figurative speech keeps the listener engaged, it holds the attention. Secondly, figurative speech helps us express emotions more accurately. Human emotions are complex, right? Sometimes a single word like sad or happy is not at all enough. So this figurative speech allows us to describe emotions in very depth way. It allows us to show how strong or deep those emotions are. And thirdly, it improves both speaking and writing skills. When you learn how to use figurative expressions, then your essays become richer, your stories become more vivid, and your spoken English sounds more confident and natural. And finally, figurative speech helps us connect with people. When you speak in a figurative way, people relate to what you're saying. They feel understood, they feel involved. Got it? Now, when it comes to the purpose of the figurative speech is not decoration alone. So, the real purpose is communication. It helps us communicate ideas, emotions, experience in a way that stays in the listener mind. That is why figurative speech is commonly used in poems, stories, novels, speeches, songs, advertisements, and even daily conversation. Okay? Now, let me tell you the types of figurative speech. The first one is simile, and the second is metaphor, third is personification, fourth is hyperbole, and the fifth one is idiom. So when I say simile, this is a comparison between two different things using the words like or as. The purpose of a simile is to make a description clearer by comparing it to something familiar. For example, when I say she was as calm as a lake in the early morning, so I'm comparing her calmness to the stillness of a lake. Got it? So this helps you imagine her mood clearly. Another example would be after running for a long time, he was breathing like a tired engine struggling to start. So, this comparison helps you understand how exhausted he was. And the next one is metaphor. So this is also a comparison, but it is stronger than a simile. In a metaphor, we do not use the word like or as. We directly say one thing is another thing. For example, when we say time is a thief, we are not saying that time is a person who steals. We are saying that time takes away moments of our life quietly and without asking. And another example is her classroom is a battlefield every morning. So this tells us that the classroom is chaotic, noisy, and full of activity. Got it? And the third one is personification. So this is a type of figurative speech where we give human qualities to non-living things. This makes descriptions more dramatic and emotional. For example, when we say, the wind whispered through the trees, the wind is given the human action of whispering here, right? So this creates a peaceful image in our mind. Remember, here we have given the human qualities of whispering to a non living thing. Another example is the alarm clock screamed at me until I finally woke up. So the alarm does not really scream, but this expression shows how irritating and loud it feels. So that is personification. And the next one is hyperbole. So, hyperbole is an exaggeration used for emphasis. It is not meant to be taken seriously. It is used to show strong feelings. For example, when someone says, I have been waiting forever, they do not literally mean forever, they mean a very long time. Okay. And another example, my bag weighs a ton. So this shows that the bag feels very heavy. So remember, hyperbole is an exaggeration that we can use it for emphasizing certain things. And the next one is idiom. So it is a group of words whose meaning is different from the literal meaning of the individual words. For example, when someone says, don't spill the beans, they are not talking about the beans at all. They mean don't reveal the secret. So idioms are commonly used in everyday conversation, and understanding them is very, very important for fluent English. So, in order to conclude today's lesson, I want you to remember one important thing. Figurative speech is not something you force into your language. It comes naturally when you start thinking in images and feelings. So, the more you read stories, listen to good speakers, and practice expressing your thoughts, the more naturally figurative speech will come to you. Don't worry about it. So, language is not just about rules, it is about expression. That's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more English tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.